Hello and welcome. You're watching Express News with me, Munmun Bhattacharya. Let's get started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the India-Jordan Business Forum in Amman. King Abdullah II and Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah also attended the forum. Prime Minister Modi highlighted areas where India and Jordan can deepen their trade, business and investment linkages. PM said that India has opportunities, skills, speed and innovation, while Jordan is a geographically important country. Prime Minister Modi said that startups from India and Jordan can come together to establish new collaborations in digital public infrastructure, fintech, health tech and agri-tech. In addition to fertilizers, the Prime Minister spoke about cooperation with Jordan in the pharmaceutical space, saying that this sector will be beneficial for the world. Addressing the business forum, King Abdullah II said, with Jordan's strategic location and FTAs and India's economic growth, both countries hold the potential to build an economic corridor that links South Asia to West Asia, Africa and Europe. PM Modi and Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II visited the Jordan Museum, reflecting on shared civilizational links and centuries-old connections between India and Jordan. Jordan's Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II personally drove the Prime Minister in a car to the Jordan Museum. PM also held a meeting with the Crown Prince. PM Modi held productive discussions with King Abdullah II in Amman. Addressing the media, the Indian diplomat said that after the Pahalgam terror attack, the Jordan king called Prime Minister Modi to express his solidarity with India and rejected terrorism in all forms. After concluding his successful visit to Jordan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Addis Ababa on Tuesday for his maiden state visit to Ethiopia, marking a milestone in India-Africa ties. Prime Minister held a brief courtesy interaction with his Ethiopian counterpart at the airport. Leaders also enjoyed Ethiopian coffee during the interaction. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Tuesday co-chaired the 16th India-UAE Joint Commission and the 5th Strategic Dialogue with UAE Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi. Jaishankar said the two sides also discussed expanding energy collaboration with a particular focus on civil nuclear cooperation, as well as consolidating defense and security cooperation. The External Affairs Minister also called on UAE's Vice President Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan on Monday in Abu Dhabi. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Israel on a two-day visit. EAM Dr. Jaishankar on Tuesday met his Israeli counterpart in Jerusalem. In an open debate on leadership for peace in the United Nations Security Council, India's envoy to UN, Parvathaneni Harish, said that Pakistan is a global epicenter of terror and needs to credibly and irrevocably end its support for cross-border and all other forms of terrorism. Giving a befitting reply to Pakistan on its unwarranted reference to Jammu and Kashmir in an open debate, Ambassador Harish also stated that Pakistan has a unique way of respecting the will of its people by jailing a PM and by banning the ruling political party. India calls for more reforms in the United Nations Security Council to make it fit for purpose to tackle contemporary challenges, which is an urgent global imperative. India observes Vijay Divas every year on 16th December to mark the win over Pakistan in the 1971 war. On this day, people across the country honor the courage and sacrifice of the Indian Armed Forces. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh laid a wreath at the National War Memorial. He said on X that the nation bows in pride and gratitude to the Indian Armed Forces who delivered the decisive victory in 1971. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh distributed the Excellence Awards on the occasion of Defence Estates Day celebrations in New Delhi on Tuesday. Addressing the event, the Defence Minister said that a nation's strength is not calculated by its ammunitions, but also by the strength of its administration. President Draupadi Murmu inaugurated the 1066th Jayanti celebrations of Adi Jagat Guru Shivaratri Shwara Shivayogi Mahaswami of the revered Suttur Mutt in Karnataka. Speaking at the event, the President highlighted the role that institutions like Suttur Mutt can play in achieving the government's vision of holistic development of India. India's Minister for Education, Dharmendra Pradhan, introduced the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Dishtan Bill 2025 in the lower house of Parliament. Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan introduced the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen Bill 2025 in Lok Sabha. The bill aims to establish a rural development framework aligned with the national vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047 by providing a statutory guarantee of 125 days of wage employment in every financial year to every rural household. The Indian Navy commissioned the first vessel of the indigenously designed and constructed diving support craft, DSC A-20, at Kochi Naval Base on Tuesday. Luthra brothers Gaurav and Saurabh, the owners of the Birch by Romeo Lane Club in Arpora, Goa, where 25 people were killed in a fire, have been deported to India. A team of the Goa police arrested the two at the airport. A fresh consignment of 50 tons of dry rations from India reached Sri Lanka on Monday on board Indian Coast Guard ship Shaurya under Operation Sagar Bandhu. Afghan Minister of And let's now take you across to Ethiopia, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on the second leg of his three-nation visit. Prime Minister accompanied by his Ethiopian counterpart, the Ethiopian Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, a Nobel laureate. They are visiting a science museum in Addis Ababa. So these are visuals of Prime Minister's visit to the Science Museum. The Prime Minister, accompanied by his Ethiopian counterpart, visiting the Science Museum there. This museum was built on a 7-hectare space, hosting 2 major building complexes and several interactive exhibits that display local solutions in healthcare, finance, cybersecurity, geographic information systems, that is GIS, service industries, data analytics, manufacturing and robotics, among others. Earlier, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia has described the Science Museum as a demonstration of Ethiopia's attention to science and technology. Ethiopia has a digital economy strategy. It started implementing that strategy 2 years ago. The idea behind the museum is to encourage young people to think creatively and also utilize the space as a breeding ground for innovative ideas. So this has now become a key element of Prime Minister's program in Ethiopia. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia had come to the Addis Ababa International Airport to receive the Prime Minister, and had in a special gesture also driven him to this Science Museum, where the two leaders are witnessing exhibits and the transformation digitally that Ethiopia is undergoing. Later, there will be A tete-a-tete between the two leaders, delegation-level talks, exchange of MOUs. An extremely significant visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Ethiopia, his first visit. This is a state visit that is happening at the invitation of Ethiopian Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali. We'll keep getting you updates on Prime Minister's visit to Ethiopia, but for now we'll move on with the rest of the Express News. Afghan Minister of Public Health Maulavi Noor Jalal Jalali arrived in New Delhi on his first official visit to India. In a post on X, the Ministry of External Affairs said that the visit reflects India's enduring support for Afghanistan's healthcare system. Indian equity indices ended on a negative note in a volatile trade on Tuesday. At close, Sensex dipped 533.50 points to settle at 84,679.86, while Nifty slipped 167.2 points to settle at 25,860.1. Gold futures maturing on 5th of February next year were priced at 1,33,780 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for March 5th next year maturity stood at 1,97,022 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Indian rupee slumped 26 paise to close at an all-time low of 91.04 against the US dollar. Oil prices fell on Tuesday as prospects for a Russia-Ukraine peace deal appeared to strengthen, raising expectations of a potential easing of sanctions. US President Donald Trump said a deal to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict was closer than ever as European leaders proposed a multinational force to enforce a possible peace agreement. European leaders backed US-supported robust security guarantees, including continued military aid to Ukraine and a US-led ceasefire monitoring mechanism. US officials said the guarantees would be similar to NATO's Article 5, under which an attack on one ally is treated as an attack on all. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said talks showed progress, but differences remained over territory. Russia said it was awaiting details from Washington on the proposals discussed in Berlin. Leaders including Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky launched an international claims commission in The Hague to compensate Kyiv for hundreds of billions of dollars in damage from the ongoing crisis. US President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit seeking at least $10 billion from the BBC over a documentary that edited his 2021 speech to supporters ahead of the US Capitol riot. The BBC has apologized to Trump, admitted an error of judgment and acknowledged that the edit gave the mistaken impression that he had made a direct call for violent action. Australian residents urged tougher gun laws on Tuesday after a mass shooting killed 15 people during an event at Sydney's Bondi Beach. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese visited Bondi Beach shooting hero Ahmed Al-Ahmed in hospital on Tuesday. Australian Prime Minister Albanese described the Bondi shooting as a horrific act of anti-Semitism. Australian police said on Tuesday that both men had travelled to the Philippines last month and the purpose of the trip is under investigation. Visiting Washington, Jimmy Lai's daughter Claire Lai said that her father's death in prison would cause lasting harm to Hong Kong's reputation. US President Donald Trump expressed deep regret over Jimmy Lai's conviction and urged Xi Jinping to consider his release. The US Southern Command reported on Monday that it conducted strikes on 3 vessels in international waters, resulting in 8 deaths. A Paris court convicted former Congolese rebel leader Roger Lumbala of complicity in crimes against humanity committed during the Second Congo War, sentencing him to 30 years in prison. Time for a break now. We keep watching DD India. We'll be back in a bit.
For sustainability to become more than just a statement, it needs to be practical and seamlessly fit into our lives.
If we are thinking about a net zero economy, and obviously automobile sector is at the center of this transformation. Instead of buying new vehicle, if I can retrofit and upgrade my existing vehicle, environmentally speaking, it is superior.
Zero waste means repair, reuse, analyze.
We realized that if women became involved in decision making and generated income, the whole family would benefit. Before, we needed a lot of manpower to handle the waste. But now, with the conveyor belt,
It converts the waste into electricity, powering 2 farms.
Welcome back. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya. Let's resume. Emergency officials on Monday urged evacuations for residents near the northwestern U.S. city of Seattle after a levee breached from heavy rains in the region. Flooding along a river in Washington state's Tukwila prompted police to close a road and set up barricades on Monday as water levels rose nearby. Parts of British Columbia were facing heightened flood risk as heavy rainfall combined with snow melt caused rapid rises in rivers. Environment Canada issued orange-level rainfall warnings for parts of the West and Central Fraser Valley, including Abbotsford and Chilliwack, as well as the Skagit Valley. A flash flood in the Moroccan coastal town of Safi has killed at least 37 people as search and rescue operations continued. Morocco already is suffering from drought, frequently experiences extreme weather, but Sunday's floods in Safi have become the deadliest in over 10 years. Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto said on Monday that activities in areas on Sumatra that were hit by deadly floods may return to normal in the next 2 to 3 months. Indonesia's National Disaster Mitigation Agency stated that the floods and landslides had resulted in 1,030 fatalities, left 206 people missing and impacted millions in 52 districts and cities across Aceh, in North Sumatra and West Sumatra. The mercury dropped to minus 45 Celsius in Russia's Yakutsk, though some locals consider Monday's temperature to be relatively mild in comparison to previous recorded lows. Officials said that schools had switched to online classes to help people cope with the extreme cold weather in Russia's Yakutsk. Tokyo welcomes Christmas with dazzling illuminations and decorations ahead of the 25th of December. One of the most popular spots drawing crowds every night is Keizaka illumination, where the street is lit up by about 930,000 LED lights on trees leading to the famous landmark Tokyo Tower. Hundreds of people crowded the circus-themed Christmas land in New Taipei City to celebrate the winter season. In Taipei, streets near the Taipei 101 skyscraper twinkled with illuminated Christmas decorations as visitors enjoyed a light snow every 15 minutes, accompanied by artificial snow blown from the top of a Christmas tree. Manila is coming alive with colorful lights and glittering decor across the capital as the Philippines' early Christmas season officially begins. Parks, streets and buildings in Manila are already getting their yearly glow up as well, wrapped in bright lights and cheerful ornaments. The German Christmas market in Shanghai is a popular holiday attraction that sells out entrance tickets and draws large crowds each year. Shanghai Disneyland also kicked off the annual Frostival, including a musical Christmas tree lighting program and winter-themed decor. The Vatican's giant Christmas tree and nativity scene in St. Peter's Square were lit up during an inauguration ceremony. The nativity is seen and the tree will remain on display until the end of the Christmas season, which coincides with the feast of the baptism of the Lord on Sunday, January 11 next year. Colorful and expressive, the models for 6 contemporary stained glass windows designed by artist Claire Touberat are on display at the Grand Palais Museum in Paris. The title of the exhibition, Grotesco, is inspired by the legend of a young Roman who stumbled into a cave where he discovered forgotten frescoes from the Domus Aurea. Tourists and local residents gathered at Las Canteras Beach in Spain to admire the stunning 20th anniversary edition of the Sand Nativity scene sculpted by international artists on the shores of Gran Canaria Island. Organized by local families since 2006, this year's event has become Spain's third most visited museum in December, drawing around 260,000 visitors over 40 days. Scientists in Italy are developing sweet snacks with lab-grown plant cells and fruit residues, producing a material that a 3D printer can then process into pastries with high nutritional content. Italy's public research agency INEA shows scientists are out to push boundaries in the quest for sustainable, nutrient-rich snacks. Nick Rayner, the 32-year-old son of actor-director Rob Rayner, 78, and Michelle Singer Rayner, 68, killed his parents on Sunday, the Los Angeles Police Department said after confirming his arrest. Fallout star Walton Goggins hinted at the show's second season might channel the spirit of Fallout New Vegas, the video game's beloved spin-off. The Fallout series is based on the 1997 role-playing video game developed by Interplay Productions, which eventually spawned 9 main games in the Fallout franchise. Netflix has confirmed that Emily in Paris Season 5 will premiere in India on the 18th of December. All 10 episodes will drop at once, continuing the platform's full season release pattern for the series. Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 2, consisting of 3 episodes, will premiere on Netflix on the 25th of December. Maddox Films' latest horror comedy Thamma has finally arrived on OTT. The box office success, which stars Ayushmann Khurrana, will be available to watch on Amazon Prime Video. The makers of Border 2 unveiled the film's teaser on Tuesday at a grand event in Mumbai. The teaser, which offers a glimpse of 4 war heroes, unfolds as a tribute to India's defense forces. The 4th season of the Great Indian Couple Show is set to premiere on Netflix on the 20th of December. Ananya Pandey has expressed her gratitude to one and all after winning an award for her show Call Me By in Filmfare OTT Awards. India will face South Africa in the 4th T20 International on Wednesday in Lucknow. India lead the 5-match series 2-1. India's all-rounder Akshar Patel has been ruled out of the remaining 2 T20 matches against South Africa due to illness. Australian all-rounder Cameron Green became the most expensive overseas buy in Indian Premier League history with a winning bid of 252 million rupees in Abu Dhabi. The 19th edition of the Indian Premier League is set to be held from 26th March to 31st May next year. The countdown of the ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup 2026 has begun as Zimbabwe unveiled the trophy in Harare. Australia has announced their playing 11 for the third Ashes Test starting from Wednesday at Adelaide. Skipper Pat Cummins and veteran Nathan Lyon were named in the Australian side, which leads the 5-match series 2-0. South African off-spinner Simon Harmer has won the ICC Men's Player of the Month award for November after splendid performance against India. India's Shafali Verma has been named the ICC Women's Player of the Month for November following her excellent performance in the World Cup. Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty will be the lone Indians in action as the season-ending BWF World Tour Finals get underway in China on Wednesday. The Best FIFA Football Awards ceremony honouring the exceptional performers of the year will take place in Doha today. Paris Saint-Germain dominated the list of nominees for the awards after the historic treble-winning season in 2025. Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele is joined by 3 teammates on the list for Men's Player of the Year award. World number 1 Arena Sabalenka has been named WTA Player of the Year for the second consecutive season. Serbian great Novak Djokovic will play the Adelaide International as he kicks off his bid for an elusive 25th Grand Slam crown. That's it in this edition of Express News. News and updates will continue on DD India. Stay tuned.